I understand correctly that at a temperature of 500 degrees Celsius, not a single living creature or bacterium lives.
A good question, as a scientist says, a good question, so it doesn't have an answer. But there is a hint. And for many years we thought so, because the landscapes of Venus look completely lifeless, at least in those pictures, those photographs that we got from there. But there was someone who decided to check it out. Well, from a biologist's point of view, it's 450,500 degrees. This excludes all protein life, and if it is not protein, and if it has other bases, there is some kind of high-temperature silicon there. This man's name was Professor of Xenophomelity. He worked at the Institute of Space Research here last year. He died, he was already elderly, he lived a beautiful long life. And Leonid Vasilievich then decided, and let's look at all the photographs that we received as souvenirs, not only the best ones that were presented to the public, but in general, everything that these devices gave us. They spent an hour and a half there. The camera scanned around like this. Landscapes like this, I shot panoramas and transmitted the next frame every 20 minutes. Some shots were successful, others with interference, not so much. We only saw the successful ones, and he collected everything and began to look at the same places on the surface near the device. There is 1.5 to 2 meters from him transmitted every 20 minutes. Yeah. And it turned out that in some shots something appears, and in the next it disappears. If desired, this can be attributed to radio interference. The channel was weak, interference passed through there. Well, is it possible, with a certain imagination, to imagine that it was someone who raised his head from under the ground? What did that fall on me there? Have you seen the Soviet spacecraft? And back to San Fomalite gave them even names, as some were like little flowers, some for some pumps on owl. One of them he called about such an impression of some crested bird. Almost no one shares this belief. It is a fantasy on the verge. But, well, it's on the verge of madness in general, but in science there were such things that everyone thought were fantastic, and then it turned out that they were. And we remember about this idea. Leonid Vasilievich left, but this idea has survived, and we will look for something on wine that can test it. It's almost obvious that we won't find anything alive there, but there's still a tiny, tiny chance.